Hi again, everybody. This is Carly from the Poetry of Nice, and I've got a really quick sales update for you guys for the last week or two on Etsy and eBay. I'm just going to kind of run you through what I sold. The prices I will tell you that are the sales prices are what the buyer has paid. I'll try and mention how much I paid for it, where I got the item, and whether or not buyer paid shipping. But they do not include any fees in this price. It's purely what the buyer paid for the item. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start with Etsy first. I sold another vintage digital alarm clock. I do really well with these. I picked this up for, I think it was around 50 cents at a yard sale. And I sold it for around the $15 mark. Buyer paid shipping. Next, this Noah's Ark bake set. It came with like this backdrop, all the instructions and kind of cutouts and stuff, and the cookies. I picked this up for $3 at a thrift store, and I sold it for $13. Okay, I picked up this vintage suitcase, which I have to say was really gorgeous. I don't know that it was leather, so I did not mark it as leather. I suspect that it was, but I didn't want to sort of falsely sell it. But the lining you can see here was so beautiful all the way in. It was a really, really lovely piece. I picked this up at an estate sale, and I paid $2.50 for this suitcase, and it sold for $65. Buyer paid shipping. Picked up another pair of vintage 80s eyeglasses. These were really cool. They had this kind of it was like a tortoise shell, but it was like an orange and black tortoise shell, really kind of vivid. It's hard to see in the photos, but they were really, really beautiful. I know the buyer was really happy with them. I think you can kind of see it there pretty well. It was really nice. I picked these up for $3 at a thrift store, and I sold them for $30. Buyer paid shipping again. Okay, piece of vintage wrapping paper. This was, I believe, one sheet unused, factory folded, just the print that you see here with the hummingbirds on. I sold this for $10, and I picked this up in a huge lot. I have stacks and stacks of vintage paper that I paid for about $2.50 for the entire thing. So yes, I'm slowly piecing it out and selling it at either $10 per sheet, or sometimes I sell it for $13 per sheet if I think it is a really special piece. Speaking of which, I sold this piece of vintage wrapping paper, one sheet, factory folded, unused, for $13. I just thought it was really beautiful. It was vintage hallmark. It was obviously wedding. It did have a very slight bend here on one corner that I disclosed, but other than that, the print was beautiful. Okay, sold this Sanyo stereo cassette player, this portable one that like clips onto your belt. I picked this up last week at an estate sale for $1. Brought it home, tested it. It did not have headphones or anything with it, but I sold this in the matter of like an hour of posting it on Etsy for $20. This I sold finally. I had picked this up a long time ago for 50 cents at a yard sale. It's vintage Star Trek mug from the 1990s, very early 1990s. Sold it for $19. But the buyer is actually going to be returning this. They contacted me today and they were lovely, but there is a hairline crack, which I disclosed in the listing. It's very, very hard to see. You can't really see it in the photographs, which is why I made sure I had this here to please note. But unfortunately, when they got it, it was more than I guess that they were suspecting or expecting to have with this piece, so they asked if they could return it, and of course they can. They will be paying shipping return because that is my policy since item is as described, but I'm very happy for them to return it. That's not a problem at all. So then I guess I'll lower the price and I'll go ahead and resell it. Okay, and then I sold these vintage greeting cards. There was 10 here. They had Christian greeting messages inside. They were a variety from get well soon to happy birthday to special thoughts, all kinds of different stuff. And they had these kind of like cute childlike retro characters with like headphones and bandanas and all kinds of cool stuff. And they sold, I picked them up for 10 cents for the entire lot, and I sold them for $6. Sold another pair of vintage eyeglasses. Picked these up for $3 at a thrift store, and these sold for $45. There you go. Buyer paid shipping for those too. And the very last thing I sold on Etsy is this vintage Avon scarf. It was these kind of like springtime colors, floral, very, very pretty. And that sat for a little while. I picked that up for 50 cents at an estate sale, and it sold for $13. Okay, and onto eBay. This was another piece of like retail arbitrage that I've been kind of testing the waters on. And I picked this up at, it's like a little plush, a 7-inch plush, and I picked this up at Target on the clearance section for $5 and sold him, actually took a best offer of $22.99. I paid shipping, so I got around $20 before fees and the cost that I paid for him. So, you know, a small profit to me, about $15 profit roughly to be made on him. Okay, next was this. This was a vintage wooden recipe box that I got, and it had all these really cool vintage recipes inside. Strawberry pie, Aunt Sally's pickles. I mean, it was really neat. It had lots of different vintage inserts in it, and it was a really gorgeous piece. But unfortunately, when I bought it, I didn't notice anything about it. And I sent it to the buyer. I actually took a best offer of $18. And they got in touch with me, and they did not ask for a refund or anything. But when they had received it, apparently it had a very strong smoke odor. I can only guess, since I had not noticed it before, that it's sitting in the heat, maybe on their doorstep or something, had brought out the smoke odor. I guess is my suspicion with it being wood. But they had got in touch with me and said, you know, I want to let you know that it had this issue. My wife's still deciding whether or not to keep it. And I just went straight away and said, please keep the item, decide what to do with it, what you will. I will refund you the full price and the shipping costs. And I did that immediately without waiting for them to reply to me. And unfortunately, I haven't heard back from them. So I don't know if they're satisfied or not. I can only guess that that was, you know, a response that was hopefully mirrored something along the lines of good customer service to them. But you know, I really do not want them to feel that they got something that was not up to par, or that I had tried to hide from them. That is not how I do business. That is not how I want my customers to see me. So I went ahead and refunded that. I took the loss. I only paid $3 for this when I picked it up at an estate sale, and the shipping was maybe around the $6 mark. So, you know, maybe a $10 loss in total, including fees. But honestly, it's worth it. And I was sorry to them that they had had that experience. I do believe that it had the smoke smell. I don't know why they would say that and then not ask for a refund. So hopefully that satisfied them. And, you know, maybe they got that was able to do something with that smell. I hope so. Anyway. Okay, this Lenox 12 Drummers Christmas ornament. I picked this up at a yard sale for 50 cents and it sold for $50 buyer paid shipping. This was actually a like an retired. That's the word I'm searching for. Retired. It was a retired ornament from 1998. So someone snapped that up for $50. I picked this up for 50 cents at a yard sale. I probably would not do it anymore. It was completely sealed and everything, but I only sold it. I sold it for $7.99 with free shipping, so I ended up making, oh gosh, like a $5 profit, and then out of that was the 50 cents cost and the fee. So honestly, I'm not sure it was worth my time, but it was an experiment and I learned something from it. Oh, I finally sold Barbie. Good gracious. She'd been hanging out for a while. So I picked her up in a yard sale for, oh my days, I think she was like $3. It's been that long. She was $2 or $3. She was still in box. And I actually took a best offer of $35. I paid for shipping, so I ended up making on her sort of just over $25 profit, which is fine. I mean, she's only been up for like a month and a half. It's not been that long, but she takes up some space to store, and I'm forever trying to make sure that I'm not like damaging the packaging and all that kind of stuff. So I'm bye-bye, Barbie. I'm glad to see you go. Okay, next with this Bible, I actually picked this up for free at a church rummage sale. They were just giving boxes away, and I actually took a best offer of $25 via paid shipping. Next up was this Air Jordan Jumpman basketball jersey. Picked this up for $1 at a yard sale. Sold it for $12. No, I didn't. I sold it for $9. Took a best offer of $9. So I ended up making about $6 profit on this after shipping and fees. Next was this lot of 30 Berenstain Bears books. Fun story, I've had the same lot of books up, but I divided them out. I had them in increments of, I think they were like increments of 12 maybe, and I was trying to sell them for $15 a piece, and I could not get any bites, so I just threw them together in this big old lot and threw them up for $40. I actually took a best offer of $30 buyer paid shipping, so that was absolutely fine. I got the whole stack for $5 at a church rummage sale, so I made a decent profit there, over $20. And honestly, when I lotted them all together like this as a set of 30, they went within a couple of hours. It was an easy sale. Oh, this went finally. This was it's beautiful, beautiful anniversary book, and I mean the insides were absolutely gorgeous. But it had sat there for a really long time, and I actually took a best offer. I took a best offer of $20, but the buyer asked for free shipping. And word to the wise, I agreed because it had sat there for a while, and I thought, yep, let's get it gone. It cost me $3 at a yard sale, so I was happy to go ahead and do that. And then I saw that the buyer was from California, and as far away from me. So it cost me enough in shipping and fees and buying the product that I made around $4 to $5 profit in total, which is a lot less than I like to make on an item. I'm still glad I made a profit, but I will be a lot more aware of, shipping distance from now on. It was a lesson learned there. Sold this Disney Bambi scrub top. Took a best offer, I think, of $10. They paid shipping. I paid $3 for it originally. Again, I would probably not do these character scrubs again. They do sell, but they take a while. And I'm honestly just not sure how worth my time they are, unless they are dirt cheap. When they're like 25 cents or 50 cents, and yes, I will grab them, and sometimes I lot them together and they sell. But sort of one-on-one like this, I probably wouldn't bother. Okay, got this for free again. It's a golfer's Bible. Had one little mark down here, which I disclosed in the listing. Other than that, it was basically untouched. And I got this for free. Like I said, a church rummage sale, sold it for $10, buyer paid shipping. And fun story, I had done all my research on eBay, and these were going at like $5, if that, when they were selling. I really didn't want to sell it for just $5, so I put it up at 10, took away the option for a best offer, and let it sit. And it sat for like maybe 5 weeks in total. I think I relisted it one time, and it didn't take up a lot of space because it was small, and it sold for my full asking price, so I was really pleased with that. Finally sold these. I've got a lot of things here that finally sold. These Versace glasses. There was a little mark on the case there. They had these kind of rhinestones and things like that on the sides. They were really, really pretty. Took a best offer of, oh my goodness, I think it was $35. And I paid shipping, so I actually picked them up for 25 cents at a church rummage sale, so I ended up making around the $28 mark. These I only got last week. I got them at church rummage sale. I picked them up for 10 cents. They were the Gucci, whatever you want to call it, vintage sunglasses. They had this cool reflective polarized lens. They had this, they were crystal cat style. They had clear plastic frames, very 80s, very cool. And they sold for my full asking price of $50. I paid shipping, but they were very light. So after paying 10 cents and then paying shipping, I made around the $45 mark in profit. These were my most random sale of the week. I picked these up ages ago. They were like laboratory glassware, these, what do you call them, volumetric flasks. They were vintage, made in the USA. They were this brand here, the Kimax, whatever you want to call it. And yes, they finally sold, and I threw them up because I couldn't find anything like them for $60, and within an hour I got a best offer of $40, buyer paying shipping, so I took it and I wrapped the living crap out of them to try and make sure that they wouldn't break because they were so delicate. So here's to hoping they made it in one piece. This perfume, I took a best offer of $10, but I paid shipping, paid 50 cents for that. Sold this, I paid shipping, picked this up for 30 cents at a church rummage sale. So I paid shipping, made about $10, about $9 profit on that in total. Took a best offer of $15 for this tie, picked it up for $150. I paid shipping, so I ended up making just over $15 there. Sold this vintage looking glass. I picked this up last week as well. It was $1. So, took a best offer of, I think it was $12.50, buyer paid shipping. Sold this, and then my final thing is I sold this mug, milk glass mug, Living Doll. Picked this up for 5 cents at a church rummage sale. Took a best offer of $11, buyer paid shipping. Okay, that's everything I sold this sort of week and a half to 2 weeks ish. It's been a little slower because of summer. Here's to hoping it picks up soon, but thank you so much for watching. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see some more. I've got more haul videos, more stuff about Etsy and how I work that, and more sales videos coming up. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.